Brazil had the opening chance of the match. Jefferson Concalves looked lively up front, only his shot was repelled. Argentina were equally impressive. Great footwork by Marcel Panizza. Again, his effort repelled. So the game would finish goalless, which meant a penalty shootout. Luis Sakayan of Argentina saw his first spot kick saved. Up stepped his Brazilian counterpart Severino da Silva, who scored his. Both sides missed their next penalties, and it meant Argentina had to score theirs to win, but Froilan Padilla missed. Brazil going through in a stunning shootout win.
There was just 1 point between the first and second ranked shooters going into the final of the women's R8 50-metre rifle 3 positions. In the final, competitors only shoot in the standing position, which means they must fully support the weight of their firearm. Zhang Qiping of China was in first position ahead of her compatriot Dang Shibei, who scored 576.23, exactly the same as Veronika Vadevikova of Slovakia. With a 9-point lead over the next nearest competitor, Lee Yunri of Korea, this final was always likely to be a tale of 3 musketeers. Qiping got off to a surprisingly poor start with a shot of 8.8, 2 points lower than Vadevikova, who briefly leapt into first place. The Slovak has been desperate for a medal at these games, so whether through nerves or Qiping's superior firepower, she dipped down to third, where she remained to claim a nevertheless cherished bronze medal. Gold went to Qiping and Dang picked up silver. The last shooting event of the 2012 Paralympic Games was the mixed P4 50-metre pistol SH1. Defending champion Park Se-kyung of Korea looked invincible from the start. He entered the final 6 points ahead of his nearest rival from the qualification round, where 3 women competed but none got through. There was drama elsewhere on the range in the first round when strong Chinese contender Ru Jechiri suffered a gun malfunction. He was unable to repair the gun in the allotted 3 minutes and had the round forfeited. Park's gold was certain unless he lost his nerve, which he didn't. But the silver and bronze medals were hotly contended by Korhan Yamaç of Turkey and Sergei Malishev of Russia, who swapped positions over several rounds. In the end, neither was victorious, losing out to Ni Hedong of China, who came from behind to slip into third place behind Valery Ponomarenko of Russia. So in the mixed P4 50-metre pistol final, Park Se-kyung took gold, silver went to Valery Ponomarenko and Ni Hedong won bronze.
The Paralympic event of Boccia provides a true test of an athlete's technique, nerve and ability to perform under pressure. Players win points for getting their balls closest to the white ball known as the jack. This afternoon's session at the Excel Centre consisted of round of 8 matches and quarter-finals in the mixed individual class. We start with a nail-biting quarter-final match in the BC4 class between Brazil's Chose Dirchu Pinto against Peter Maguire from Great Britain. The tension was apparent throughout as the men exchanged points and it ended 3-3, so a tie-break ensued. And it was Brazil that triumphed and Pinto heads into the semi-final. Next up, Great Britain's Nigel Murray against Kai Jong of China. Murray was the favourite coming into this match as he's the world #1 in the BC2 class and he'd won gold at Sydney 2000 Paralympic Games in the individual and team events. But his quest for another gold ended today when Jong expertly chipped away consistently with single scores and progressed into the semi-final by 3 points to 1. Norwegian Roger Anderlen has been playing boccia since 1986 and London is his 5th Paralympics. And this match in the BC1 class against Portugal's João Fernandes proved to be a real test. And he had to draw on all of that experience to come through. The match ended 3 apiece and went to a tie-break. Anderlen was victorious and he progresses into the semi-final. The players enjoyed a party atmosphere in the arena today as Jose Carlos Chagas de Oliveira faced Mayong Soo Kim in another quarter-final of the BC1 class. The Brazilian found his groove early on and kept posting 2s and 3s to eventually dominate the South Korean and win by 7 points to 1. Tomorrow's session will host more quarter and semi-finals, as well as playoffs for places 5 to 8.
The conclusion of the sailing at Weymouth and Portland and weather conditions meant the cancellation of Day 8 sailing, so the results counted from race 10. And it was Thierry Schmitter of the Netherlands claiming the bronze medal, Heiko Kroger of Germany with the silver, and the gold and a day to savour for Great Britain's Helena Lucas. Helena began sailing at the age of 8. To the victory ceremony for the two-person keelboat, and Great Britain claiming the bronze medal. The silver goes to the USA, the defending champions from Beijing, Nick Scandone and Maureen McKinnon-Tucker. But the gold goes to Australia, Daniel Fitzgibbon and Rachel Cox going one better than their silver in Beijing. And finally to the three-person keelboat victory ceremony, Norway settled for the bronze. The defending champions from Beijing, Germany, settled for the silver this time. Croker, Meinke and Robert Prem. But the gold goes to the Netherlands, Udo Hessels, Marcel van den Veen and Misha Rossen.
Copper box, penultimate day of competition, and it is the semi-finals. It's China versus Finland in the women's competition. Katja Heikkinen gets through the defence of the Chinese. That's 1-0 to Finland. They're celebrating at the moment, but it's a bit early. Look at this bouncing ball from Wang Shasha. She makes it 1-1. Smiles and a little shout of encouragement from the crowd. Another bouncing ball over the defence. That's 2-1. Overall, the Chinese win by 4-1, and they go into the finals tomorrow. Second semi-final then, and it's Sweden versus Japan. Europe versus Asia. There's lots of smiles. I wonder who will be smiling at the end of this one. Akiko Adachi for Japan gets a penalty into the corner. It's 1-0 to Japan, and they're celebrating in the crowd. It's Josephine Jarmistar for Sweden that levels things up. 1-1, and that is the end of regular time. We're now into the penalty shootout. The coaches away so that they're not being heard, and a penalty there taken by the Japanese, Masai Komiya. That makes it 4-3 to Japan. They need this one, and oh, it's off the post and away, and Japan will celebrate. They have won it by 4-3. They go through to the final against China. And now to the men's semi-final. It's Turkey versus Finland. Turkey have played brilliantly. They've won 4 and drawn 1. And now it's very, very important. Mattila for Finland scores a cracker there. It's 1-0, and the Finns really, really have big ambitions here. Turkey struggling a little bit. Here's another one. It's a penalty, and that is the second one for Mattila. It's the second one for Finland, and they have beaten Turkey. They go through to the final tomorrow, and that is big celebration. Finland have beaten them 2-0. Tekin Düzgün of Turkey shows tremendous sportsmanship in applauding the Finns. Now, the second semi-final of the men's event is Brazil versus Lithuania. Lithuania, really, as the world champions, ought to be favourites here, but Brazil have been showing fantastic form. And that one, first one from Genrik Pavliukinek, really shows that Lithuania are a force to be reckoned with. Another showing this time from Marquez. He levels things up at 1-1. This is going to be really, really tight. Just look at the Brazilian supporters there. And another big one, and it's in the corner. That is fantastic from Maciel Almeida. That's 2-1. And Brazil have beaten Lithuania 2-1. Just look at the celebrations. They go through to the final against Finland tomorrow.
Medals were awarded for wheelchair fencing in both Category A and B of men's individual sabre. In Category A, the bronze medal bout was contested by world number 2 Chan Wing Kin of Hong Kong and Poland's Radoslav Stanchuk, and it was Chan who prevailed, beating the experienced Pole 15-9. China were guaranteed gold, with the final being between 2011 world champion Chen Yi-jun and Beijing silver medalist Tian Jianquan. Tian beat world number 1 Roman Noble in the prelims and progressed all the way to the final relatively untroubled. Chen had lost twice early on, but won comfortably in both his quarter-final and semi-final, and was looking to go one better than the silver he'd already won in the foil on the opening day. And Chen looked set to do just that after racing into a 7-0 lead, but was pegged back by Tian at 8-7 before taking control once more to win 15-12. So Chen's now Olympic as well as world champion. Teammate Tian takes silver, with Chan winning bronze for Hong Kong. In the bronze medal bout of Category B, Alessio Sarri of Italy took on Russia's Marat Yusupov, who won bronze at last year's World Championships. But the Italian proved too hot to handle, winning 15-7, and you could see what it meant. Frenchman Marc-André Crater and Poland's Grzegorz Pluta met in a final that few would have predicted. The two fencers met in the preliminary stage, with Pluta winning 5-3. World number 3 Crater took an early lead 6-3, but Pluta wasn't phased and levelled up at 7-all. The 37-year-old then produced a memorable sequence of points to win 8 of the next 9 and take gold 15-8. So gold for Poland and Pluta, was silver going to Frenchman Crater, and bronze for Alessio Sarri of Italy.
Sweden against Australia in wheelchair rugby. The Australians a formidable outfit with Riley Batt in their ranks. He was to demonstrate why he's regarded as arguably the world's best player. He was to score 30 goals against the European champions, half his side's total. Australia never looked in danger of losing this group game. Final score: Sweden 47, Australia 60. Canada played Belgium in their second pool game. Canada in black have strength in depth, a factor which helped them run out winners here. The goals were spread around the team, whereas Belgium relied heavily on the scoring ability of young Lars Mertens. His 24 goals weren't enough as Canada eased to victory. Final score: Canada 58, Belgium 50. The encounter between Great Britain and France turned out to be extremely close. The hosts in blue were keen to put on a good show for the home crowd. France had a danger man in Rihad Salem. Closing him down was going to be key for Great Britain. The tactics paid off as Britain edged ahead in the closing stages. Final score: Great Britain 57, France 50.
World number 2, Japan's Shingo Kunieda took on Ronald Vink of the Netherlands in the wheelchair tennis men's singles at Eton Manor. The Japanese broke early in the first to set him on his way to a 6-2 win. It was much the same in the second as Kunieda broke the Dutch world number 4's serve in the fourth game and repeated the scoreline of the first set. Final score: 2 sets to love to Kunieda, 6-2, 6-2. In the quad singles, there was an all-Israeli affair between world number 2 Noam Gershoni and Shraga Weinberg, who appeared together in the doubles. It was a very one-sided match as Gershoni never dropped a game. Final score: 2 sets to love, 6-love, 6-love. It was another one-country contest in the other quad singles semi-final, again between doubles partners David Wagner and Nicholas Taylor. Wagner took advantage of his in-depth knowledge of his playing partner's game to win the match 2 sets to love, 6-2, 6-1, to set himself up with a final place against the Israeli Noam Gershoni. In the women's singles bronze medal match, the Netherlands' Jiska Griffioen took on Germany's Sabine Ellerbrock. Ellerbrock went 2 up in the first, but the Dutch woman pulled back and managed to take the set 6-2. The second set was a much more drawn-out affair, ending in a tiebreak which went to 8-6 to Griffioen. Final score: 2 sets to love, 6-2, 7-6.
In the women's doubles, Great Britain's Lucy Schuker and Jordan Wiley took on Aniek van Koot and Jiske Griffioen, who had earlier competed in the women's singles bronze match. Schuker and Wiley took a 3-1 lead in the first before the Dutch pairing came back to take the set 6-4. Griffioen and van Koot went ahead in the second, only for the British pair to mount a spirited comeback in the middle of the set. It wasn't enough though, as the Dutch took the set 6-3. Final scores 6-4, 6-3 and a place in the final against compatriots Buys and Vergeer.
Australia played the United States in the semi-finals of the women's wheelchair basketball. The USA winners of the gold medal at the last two Paralympic Games. There was to be no repeat this time, as Australia gained revenge for their defeat by the USA at the same stage 4 years ago. A scrappy game was to produce a dramatic finish. The teams were tied at the end of a tight first half. A run of 10 points without reply put Australia in control. Amazingly, they were to score only 2 points in the last quarter, but still win. The USA staged a frantic fight back. In the last minute, Desi Miller took the USA to within a point of their rivals. Then, with a second to go, Rose Holloman missed from close range. Australia celebrated a famous win and could look forward to the final. Final score Australia 40, the USA 39. An all-European tie between the Netherlands and Germany in the women's semi-final. Germany raced into a 10-point lead, yet by half-time they'd been overtaken by a much-improved Dutch side. However, Germany showed terrific character, desperate to maintain their unbeaten record. The Netherlands refused to give up and regained the lead deep into the match. This was another thrilling finish, and Germany held on to set up a clash with Australia in the final. Final score, the Netherlands 46, Germany 49. Defending champions Australia met the United States for a place in the final of the men's wheelchair basketball. It's 24 years since the USA reached the final, and the wait must go on. Australia won the meeting between the teams in the group stages, and once again they maintain their grip over their long-standing rivals. The USA struggled to contain an Australian attack that had threats all over the court. Australia through to the final again. Final score Australia 72, the United States 63.
After the disappointment of failing to reach the semi-finals, China and Egypt had to battle it out in the classification matches. In a seesaw battle, the Egyptians led 2-1, but China showed great resolve to come back and square up the contest at 2-2 to send it into a 1-15 deciding set. In that set, the Egyptians raced ahead, but then almost blew it. They needed no fewer than 7 match points to finally clinch it 15-11. So they go into the 5th place match, while China are left to battle for 7th. The first of the semi-finals saw Athens champions and Beijing runners-up Bosnia-Herzegovina up against Germany, who were seeking their first medal since winning bronze in 1992. The unbeaten Germans had enjoyed a great competition, but this was one bridge too many, as Bosnia took the opening set 25-19. And after reaching the last 3 finals, they were in no mood to miss out on the London showpiece, as they won the second as well, 25-20. The agony got worse for the Germans in the third, as they were brushed aside 25-14, as Bosnia reached a 4th successive final with a surprisingly one-sided victory. Great Britain were on court for the 2nd time today. After losing their quarter-final against Iran, they fought out a classification tie against Brazil. But it ended in defeat again, as the South Americans cleaned up in straight sets.
There was an evening session full of track finals in the Olympic Stadium on day 8 of these Paralympic Games. In the final of the men's 400 metres T12 classification, there were 4 athletes competing. Only Gerard Descarrega of Spain in lane 1 was competing without a guide runner. In the home straight, 2 athletes pulled away. Hilton Langenhoven of South Africa and Mahmoud Haldi of Tunisia. But Haldi was the stronger in the last few metres. His time of 48.52 seconds, a new world record, 1/10 of a second faster than the previous best, which had stood for more than 10 years. The final of the men's 200 metres T36 classification featured the world and Paralympic record holder So Wai of China in lane 2. He'd set both of those records at the last Paralympics in Beijing. This was a close finish between Ben Rushgrove, Roman Pavlik and So. And it all came down to the dip at the line. Pavlik timed his lunge to perfection to win in 24.70 seconds, just ahead of So, with Rushgrove in third. All 3 medalists ran faster than they ever had before in the final. In the final of the women's 200 metres T12 classification, there were 2 athletes who had set equal world and Paralympic records in the heats. Assia El Hanouni of France in lane 5 and Zhu Daqing of China in lane 3. They'd both gone 24.80 seconds in the morning session, and they both ran even quicker in this race. El Hanouni was in 4th place coming off the bend, but watch her surge through the field along with her guide Gauthier Simonet. Victory for El Hanouni in a new world record time of 24.46 seconds. Zhu Guohua of China set a new Asian record in 2nd place, with Zhu Daqing in 3rd. The final of the men's 800 metres T36 classification pitted Paralympic record holder Artem Arefyev and world record holder Evgeny Shvetkov against each other. They both come from Russia, and with 200 metres to go, they were behind the British athlete Paul Blake, but Shvetkov and Arefyev both powered through towards the end. The last few metres saw Shvetkov come away. He just managed to dip under the Paralympic record and was just outside his own world record. In the women's 200 metres T34 classification final, Hannah Cockcroft of Great Britain was the athlete to beat. She had set a new Paralympic record in qualifying, 33.20 seconds, and she'd already broken the world record this year. Cockcroft powered through to lower the Paralympic record once again, going 1.3 seconds faster than she had in the heats. Her winning time rounded up to 31.90 seconds. The other medals went to athletes from the Netherlands. Amy Siemens was 2nd in 34.16, Desiree Franken 3rd in 34.85. In the women's 200 metres T38 classification final, Ina Stryszak of Ukraine was running in lane 7. She set the world record for this event at the last Paralympics in Beijing, but the race was dominated by Zhen Shunfei of China. She broke the world record by more than 4/10 of a second in this final, winning in 27.39 seconds. Goncharova in 2nd place was only 1/100th of a second outside the previous world record, the bronze going to Stryszak. The final of the men's 100 metres T46 classification proved to be dramatic. Johansson Nascimento of Brazil pulled up after 40 metres with an injury. That allowed Zhao Zhu of China to win a close finish, just holding off Raciel Gonzalez Isidoria of Cuba. The bronze medal went to Ola Obidogon of Great Britain. Zhao's time set a new Asian record, 11.05 seconds. Only one woman has ever run sub 12 seconds for the 100 metres in the T13 class, and she was in lane 4 for the final, Omara Durand of Cuba. She powered away in the middle part of this race. A strong performance for Durand. Her winning time rounded down to 12 seconds exactly, just 1/100th slower than her world record, but a Paralympic record nevertheless. The silver medal went to Isel Hayes of South Africa, and the bronze to Nantonin Keita of France. There were 4 realistic contenders for the gold medal in the men's 200 metres T35 classification final. Yuri Saruk of Ukraine in lane 4 was the world record holder. He ran the best bend, coming away from the field. Fu Xinhan of China had the best finish to take the silver medal, and Hernan Barreto broke the South American record in 3rd place with 26.59. In the final of the men's 800 metres T54 classification, Great Britain's David Weir was aiming for a 3rd gold medal at these games. He would face stiff competition though from Saishon Konchen from Thailand and Marcel Hug of Switzerland. Hug, the world record holder at this event. Weir came off the final bend in 2nd place but managed to power his way through and hold off the late challenge from Hug. It was Weir who completed a hat-trick of gold medals. 1:37.63 seconds for him. Hug in 2nd with Kongen in 3rd. There was clearly tension in the air before the final of the men's 100 metres T44 class. Alan Oliveira overbalancing before the start. He'd won the 200 metres. At the second time of asking, they got away, and the world record holder Johnny Peacock of Great Britain stormed to victory, leaving Oscar Pistorius of South Africa in 4th place. Peacock's time 10.90 seconds, a new Paralympic record, Richard Brown in 2nd and Anu Fari in 3rd.
XL North Arena 1, it's the women's team classification 6 to 10, quarter-final stage. Brazil versus Poland. The Poland will be clear favourites here, and they've got Natalia Partyka, of course, who won the singles. There she is on the right of screen at the moment. It's 1-0 to Brazil, but that is now levelling it up at 1-1. Poland have made it 1-1. They went on, Natalia took the next game, and now it's Carolina Peck against Jane Rodriguez. And Rodriguez nets it, and that is 3-1 in favour of Poland. Next matchup is the men's team, class 9 and 10, quarter-final stage. China versus the Netherlands. Matched up first is Ma Lin against Gerben Last. Gerben Last, and he misses that chance. And Ma Lin takes that game. We move forward again to Yang Ge against Gerben Last, and Yang Ge is the victor there. So People's Republic of China win by 3-0. It's the semi-final stage of the men's team class 3, and they're in wheelchairs. Little wave there from the Chinese team, and it's Feng Peng Feng against Kim Jin Sung, the start, and Jin Sung nets it, so that is the first one to Feng Peng Feng and China. We've got Feng Peng Feng again, the next matchup, and that will be against Kim Jong Suk. There we go, and that one goes long, and Kyung Suk gives up that one. It's 3-0 to China. They go through to the finals. The second semi-final of the men's team class 3 to decide who goes through to play China is Germany or France. Germany with on the left of camera as we see now, and that ball is very high, and a miss from the French player Florian Merian means the first match to Germany. Next one up is Thomas Schmidberger against Jean-Philippe Robin. And the German crowd here really supporting well. This is an important matchup. Jean-Philippe gets it away, but ooh, and that's really great recovery there by Schmidberger. He takes that game and that match. It's 2-0 in favour of Germany. Third one up is again Thomas Schmidberger against Florian Merian. And the German supporters really excited by this. Good backhand spin. And again, another drive off the forehand. And that's Thomas Schmidberger winning the match for Germany. Another glorious day at the Olympic Park. And inside that Olympic Park is the Aquatic Centre. We've got 15 finals this evening. And the 200 metres individual medley, SM9 class. 4 lengths of the pool. Watch out particularly for number 4 in lane 4, Matthew Cowdrey. He has been absolutely stunning over this competition. 8 goals from Athens and Beijing, and he's got another one here. 3 goals prior to this. He's picked up another one. 4 gold medals now, and there the fingers go up. The boy from Ashford, has won the gold again. Matthew Cowdray from Kalina from Morlachi. One of the great stars ever of the Paralympic Games. The women's 200 metres IM, it's the SM9 class. And involved in this is Natalie Detoy, and she has been a star. This is her last games. 10 gold medals in Athens and Beijing, 12 World Championship records. Just look at her go. 5 world records altogether. She's won 2 here in London, and that's her third. She's picked it up there in a time of 2:34.22. In second place was Stephanie Millward of Great Britain, and also from Great Britain, Louise Watkin was in third. Next race is the 400 metres freestyle, S7 class, 8 lengths of the pool. And in fact, we've got in lane 4, Joseph Craig of Great Britain. The Chinese swimmer Pan Shiyun is going to be a real big opposition. But just look at Joseph Craig going at the moment. He's only had a 4th and a 7th here in London, but he's going to really push the boy from China. Pan Shiyun is working hard, but I don't think he's going to catch Joseph Craig. And this is a very impressive performance. In fact, Craig had the world record earlier in the day, and he's done it again. 4:42.81. He's beaten the old record by 3 seconds. The boy from South Tyneside has got the gold medal. Pan Shiyun for China in second. Gladkov in third. The women's 400 metres freestyle, S7. 8 lengths of the pool once again, and here we have one of the great stars of the whole Paralympic Games. 6 events, 6 golds here in London, and that Jacqueline Frenet, just look at her go. The Australian 20-year-old from South Brisbane is absolutely in a class of her own. She has got a superb stroke, and just look at the distance there. Her father and grandfather were great coaches. She was awarded the Australian Institute of Sports scholarship, and just look at her come to the wall there. It's another world record time, 4:59.02 for Jacqueline Frenet. She has won her 7th gold medal. Courtney Jordan was second for the USA. Great Britain's Susanna Rogers was third. The men's 100 metres breaststroke, SB14 category. And here we have the Japanese star, Yasuhiro Tanaka. He will be expecting a big performance here in the breaststroke. The boy who suffers from autism really is in a class of his own here. The Hakuyu Swimmers Club will be celebrating here. It's a great touch, and it's another world record, 1:06.69, and that was very impressive. Yasuhiro Tanaka from Pavlenko in second, and Mark Evers of the Netherlands in third. 100 metres breaststroke for women, SB14 class, and Michelle Alonso Morales of Spain. She has the Paralympic Games record of 1:18.78. We'll see whether or not she can actually perform here. She's in lane 4. Right next to her is Magda Teuters in 5. Leung Shu Hang is in 3, but just look at the girl from Spain. 18-year-old Morales has made it, and that is a fabulous performance. It's a new world record. It's no wonder she's excited. 1:16.85, a brilliant performance, a new world record. Magda Teuters was second, and Leung Shu Hang third. The men's 50 metres backstroke, S4 category, and we look out particularly for Juan Reyes. Here he is, in fact, coming in now. Quite an extraordinary guy. At the age of 5, he lost 2 arms and a left leg. But that has not affected his life, I can tell you. He was a winner in Sydney, a winner in Athens, a winner in Beijing, and now a winner in London. 4 gold medals, 45.75. Is he celebrating or what? Mexico's Reyes is the winner. Lichikin was in second. Sanchez Martinez was third. The women's 50 metres backstroke, S4 category. And, well, the lady that we'll be looking out for particularly is 32-year-old Lisette Tunison in lane 4. And here she comes very strongly. 7th and 8th already in this week. But there she gets her first gold medal. A great performance. And just look at it, what it means to her. Fantastic. 32, first gold. Tunison from Garcia from Baijuan. The men's 100 metres freestyle, S8 category, 2 lengths of the pool. And we look out particularly in lane 5 for the boy from the Zhejiang province in China. And in fact, he is showing ahead at the moment, although, wow, no, it looks like Tarasov has got the lead. But coming down this final length now, the 22-year-old Wang Yinan really absolutely pulls through the water, hits the wall. And it's another world record time, 56.58. And it's also a record for the European swimmer, Tarasov. Lysenkov, also of Russia, was in third. The 100 meters freestyle S8 category for women. One of the stars of the Paralympic pool, Jessica Long, is in this one. She is in lane 4. The 20-year-old from the USA started out life in Siberia, that was then adopted, taken to the USA, and has been a gold medalist in so many events. 7 golds in Athens and Beijing, 16 world records, and she comes home so well for a 5th gold medal here in London. Brilliant performance, Jessica Long. Heather Fredrickson of Great Britain was 2nd, and Madison Elliott of Australia was in 3rd place overall. Absolutely superb from Jessica Long. The men's 50 meters backstroke S1 category. This is the most severely disabled category, so you will see they will take a lot longer. Christos Tampaxis, who is in lane 5, is the world record holder at 1:20.01. But just look at this guy go. The Ukrainian Hannady Boyko is coming home, the double stroke, and he hits the wall now. He's got a 15-second world record win there. Unbelievable. He shaved 15 seconds off it. Boyko from Tampaxis, and Golovko was in bronze medal position. The men's 50 meters backstroke S5 category, and one of the stars of the pool is here. 3 gold medals already in London, 4 golds in Beijing, 11 world records, and you're going to see Daniel Diaz against Jungren He. And look at Diaz go, absolutely superb. It's a new world record potentially. Look at it, 35, 34. Oh yes, excellent work. 34.99, and that is a world record for Daniel Diaz, and look at him celebrate. Great work there. He Jongkwan, the former record holder, was in 2nd place, and Vereci from Hungary was in 3rd. The men's 100 meters freestyle S10, that means 2 lengths of the pool, and that also means that these are the most able athletes in the swimming pool at S10 category. 28-year-old Andre Brazil. In fact, there are 2 boys from Brazil. We've also got Felipe Rodriguez as well. But it looks like Andre Brazil comes home. He is the world record holder in this. He's got 2 golds already before this race. That makes it his 3rd. And the physiotherapist from Brazil, Andre Brazil, wins it. Felipe Andrews was in 2nd, and Andrew Pasterfield in 3rd. The women's 100 meters freestyle, again S10 category, so the most able, although Sophie Pascoe in 4 at 19 years old is without a left leg. She lost that in a motor mower accident and when she was 2 years old. But just look at that beautiful, beautiful, strong stroke. Oh, it's going to be tight here, though. Elodie Lorandi comes up. Oh, but that's very clever from Sophie Pascoe. Underneath the water, she reached, and she just squeezed home. 1:00.89. It's a new Paralympic Games record. Pascoe from Lorandi from Summer Mortimer. It's the men's 100 meters butterfly S11. That's for the visually impaired. It's 2 lengths of the pool, and we're particularly interested in Viktor Smirnov in lane 6. He has got 5 golds from Athens, 3 bronze from Beijing. He's a world champion on 6 occasions. But here in London, only a 3rd, a 4th, and a 6th place. But just look at him come now. There will be a little touch from the tappers, and he just makes it. Just makes it. Viktor Smirnov wins it. 1:03.32. And Hamid is 2nd. Kimura is 3rd.
The motor racing circuit at Brands Hatch was the venue for the Paralympic road cycling. First up, the men's individual C4 and C5 road race with 31 riders entered in the race. Some of the favorites included the highly decorated Jure Jezik of the Czech Republic, former world champion Michael Gallagher of Australia, and Yegor Dementyev of the Ukraine. The race was 80 kilometers in length. The riders would need to complete 10 full laps around the scenic Brands Hatch racecourse and countryside. Midway through the race, 38-year-old veteran rider Solito Gore of Brazil would set the pace. Gore had previous success in road races. He won gold at the 2009 and 2010 World Championships. As the race wore on, Gore fell back and the medal contenders became clear. They included Michael Gallagher of Australia and Yegor Dementyev of the Ukraine. Gallagher won a bronze medal the day before in his time trial. The 33-year-old Australian also took home gold earlier in the week at the indoor track in individual pursuits. Dementyev, the 25-year-old Ukrainian, had won a gold medal one day earlier in his time trial. He was looking to make it 2 golds in 2 days. Entering the final 8 kilometers, Dementyev made his move, breaking away from the others. Coming down the stretch, Dementyev crossed the finish line in a time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 38 seconds. He finished 10 seconds ahead of Liu Xinyoung of China. The Italian Michele Piticolo placed 3rd. Dementyev collected his 2nd gold medal in as many days. For Xinyoung, this was his 5th medal of the Games, his 2nd silver to go with the gold and 2 bronze, while Piticolo earned his 1st ever Paralympic medal. Next up, the women's individual C1 to C3 road race with 9 riders entered in the competition. The ones to watch included the world champions Jamie Paris of Australia, Allison Jones of the United States, and Denise Schindler of Germany.
So away go the women. We have 2 world champions in there, by the way. The C1 world champion is Jamie Paris, and the C2 world champion.
In this race, the riders would circle the Brands Hatch course 6 times for a total distance of 48 kilometers. One of the early casualties was Yin He of China, who took a spill rounding a sharp curve near the bottom of a hill. As the race wore on, 4 of the riders took charge and took the lead. 24-year-old Teresa Dipoldova of the Czech Republic, a former swimmer who competed in the Paralympic Games in 2004 and 2008, she won silver in her individual time trial a day earlier. The 28-year-old American Allison Jones was a former 5-time world champion in cycling. She was also a Paralympic skier. Jones won gold a day earlier in her individual time trial. 24-year-old Xini Zheng of China, who was peaking at the right time, was also in the lead pack. Zheng made headlines earlier in the week inside the velodrome when she set a world record to win gold in the individual track pursuit. Also in the lead pack, 26-year-old German cyclist Denise Schindler. She was a world champion in the C3 classification. As the leaders reached the final 8 kilometers, the Czech rider Dipoldova fell behind. The race was down to 3 riders, the Chinese rider Zheng, the American rider Jones, and the German rider Schindler. And it would be Zheng who would take the lead and would be on her way to gold. Zheng would win the race in 1 hour, 29 minutes and 2 seconds. Schindler would finish 9 seconds behind, barely edging out Jones at the finish line. For Zheng, this was her 3rd medal at the Games, her 2nd gold. Schindler earned her first ever Paralympic medal, a silver, while Jones picked up her 2nd bronze medal to go along with her previous gold. Paralympic road cycling continued at the scenic Brands Hatch Racing Circuit. First up was the men's individual C1 to C3 road race. Two minutes later, it was the start of the women's C4 to C5 road race. An early casualty in the men's race was Colin Lynch of Ireland, who took a spill while trying to navigate a tight corner. Sarah's story was the story. Despite starting 2 minutes after the men, she caught up to the men's leaders on the 2nd lap and briefly took the lead. It was determined that Story was getting an advantage being able to draft and ride among the men, so race officials slowed down the men to allow Story to go ahead. To the delight of the British fans, the 34-year-old Story won her 4th gold medal of the Games when she crossed the finish line more than 7 minutes ahead of her rivals. The former Paralympic swimmer earned a record-time 11th gold medal. The men's race ended with a massive rush at the end. Roberto Bardina of Italy crossed the line first, barely ahead of several others, to earn the gold medal. Soon after the men finished, the rest of the women crossed the line, including Poland's Anna Harkowska, who took silver, and American Kelly Crowley took home the bronze.